Well, I'm George. I'm one of the vocalists in the band.
I'm Ryan, and I'm the other vocalist in the band.
I'm Marky, I play bass. Nick, I play guitar.
Chaka, I play drums.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Texas Gigantism. So we've all been in different bands, like collectively over like the past, I want to say at least like 6-7 years. I've known Nick, our guitarist, since high school. I've known Ryan, our other vocalist, since like 2011. So we've all been like, we've known of each other. We knew we were all in different bands, just never in the same band. And it was to make the long story short, we were in different bands that just didn't work out. The name of the band was going to be a studio band, but then we just realized that let's just get all the right people that are, you know, kind of on the same page and just made it from scratch. And we started jamming in October and been playing shows since November. Almost a year. Well, it'll be a year in October, like officially jamming. 8 months.
We're all
I'm very weird and eccentric. like we have a group chat, and I get scolded for like posting random like nonsense. But he jumps into that too. So we don't take ourselves too seriously. Like we know a time and place for the most part. But like I always just try to have fun. We roast each other pretty well. So yeah, mostly me because like I just like set myself up for it. So like originally, it was gonna be a studio project that like the name. I was traveling to San Antonio, and it felt like every gas station, everything just got bigger and bigger. So I just kept saying it like in a southern voice, that takes gigantism, and then like it had a ring to it, and I was like, damn, that sounds good for like a heavy metal band or a deathcore band. And so I was like, I Googled it first to make sure no one had taken it, and no one took it. So I was like, you know what? I like it. I'm going to just stick with it.
I guess like one of the big inspirations for me is like Tom Waits. But like his music is just real crazy. He's been making music since like the 70s. And like one of his songs was like a Christmas card from a hooker and like shit like that. Like it's just his music, most of his music was written in a motel room with like, you know, with a bottle of whiskey next to him. And he didn't really even get notoriety or anything like that until like he got his last album that he put out, like I think in like 2004. He got a Grammy for it, but he had been making music since like the 70s, just living in like a motel, touring and stuff like that. And he's like a pretty much like an inspiration to me, like just to not stop. I've been playing music for 17 years. I started with piano, and then I taught myself how to play guitar and bass, and I play all three of those like to this day.
Yo, anything the Acacia Strain. Fucking Vince is the man. Fuck everyone.
But say why, dude? Like
Vince, because his lyrics are crazy, dude. They're so fucking dark and like just in your fucking face.
But how's that inspire you?
Like his performance too, man. I've seen him live like so many times, and like he's just fucking a demon when he's on stage, dude. He's like not himself.
So you just want to be a team.
Favorite album? Wormwood. By far.
I'll just say a band, the Dillinger Escape Plan, because they've been playing since the 90s. So for a band to play music that, like, for most people, like, is completely incomprehensible, but they didn't care. They just said, you know what? We want to play our music, how we play it, and if we get recognized doing that, that's great. And they did. And I think there's nothing more inspiring than being successful doing something you love, not something that you think is going to work out.
I don't know, as far as I can think of, just like overall, like wanting to do music and stuff. I don't know if it's cliche, but Linkin Park. I love Linkin Park, and just their sound, just it caught my attention, and the screaming is what really stuck out to me. And from that, I started to listen to more, I guess, like screamo bands, and then from there, it just flourished into like what I listen to now. Rest in peace, Chester.
Probably get the biggest influence from Mark from Bella Maya. You can kind of hear it from in my music that I play.
And I think if you are trying to start a band, do it with good people. Do it with people that are committed, have jobs, form of transportation, you know their skill set. Like, for example, like me and Ryan, like, even though we're just vocalists, we practice on our own time. We were self-taught. All of us as a band, we're all self-taught musicians. We didn't like take classes or anything.
Most of the time, it's just a lot of practice. You know, like I know a lot of people like get into like they get antsy and they just want to go and play a show, and you know they end up crashing and burning. You got to like spend some time, like how they're saying, put work into it. Like at the end, you're not just playing for yourself, and a lot of people play shows and stuff for yourself. we're musicians. We're at the end, our goal is to entertain people. We're creating art for people to enjoy. So if you're not spending time working on your craft, nobody else is gonna enjoy it but you.
Make sure you take care of yourself too. Stay healthy. Fucking eat your oats.
Eat your Wheaties.
Fucking mental health is really important too. You gotta fucking cram a lot into your head and deal with a lot of bullshit. So just stay healthy.
We listen to everyone's ideas. Like, no idea is a wrong idea. We usually play by vote. Like with merch, with everything, it's a vote system. That way, like, it's not like, oh, well, you guys never do what I want. Well, it's like majority rules kind of thing. So everything's usually fair. So I think that's a good thing to, take into anything you're trying to do, especially a band.
I don't really have a process, honestly. It's kind of just like I write a riff and then I try to write something around it. Then I pitch it to these guys, and it's kind of like now they have it in their hands, so they're trying to form it, and they pitch it back to me the way they have it. They have an idea of, and then so from there I try to work with what they are trying to give the idea towards me.
For me, at least, I like to learn the rhythms before I figure out the lyrics. And the reason is we have concepts for each song, so we kind of have a lyrical theme behind it already when we're kind of thinking of it.
I kind of went through a rough time for a little bid. I didn't play music for like a year, and I came back and I had like my own band, and I got this guy to like help me out with drums, and they had just broken up with their band before, the Summoning the Wretched, so they were reforming this one here, and like I was like, he's like, I need a bass player, I need a drummer. I'm like, how about we do a little trade skis? I'll play bass for you and all that. You play drums for me, and when I started jamming with these guys, I fell in love with all these dudes. Like I fell in love with Nick, fell in love with these guys on the musical level. We don't play with the other band anymore. I ended up like killing it.
Jams are, they're pretty straightforward. Yeah, we'll either work on a little bit of the new song, or he'll show us a riff, or he'll show us a fill or an idea, or we'll just kind of take time to do like a band meeting in person. We have a group chat on Facebook, like a messenger, but sometimes a lot of messages get lost in translation and nonsense and memes. As far as the music goes, like we usually run through our set and work on new songs. We jam at Robert's house, so it's usually like super, super nice. Like it's chill vibes all the way. We're just hanging out, or we'll do cookout jams once in a while, which are like my favorite thing in the world. Right. Like straight up, like we'll jam and then eat or cook while jamming. It's great. For me, okay, so I work at a call center. I talk to angry, irritable people for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and usually it gets worse as days goes on. So like sometimes my stress, like even though I don't convey it, I'm super, super stressed out. Like I'm super like on edge 90% of the time. So I usually alleviate that stress through music. I don't consider this a hobby for me. Like I consider this like just like part of my life. Like I eat, live, breathe, and poop, this band, because but when you have people that like you see the same person showing up, at your shows from November to all the way, going into this year, it's just like you have a rough day at work, you get off work, you're rushing to a show, and then you see people, like you have your fans wearing your shirt, homies wearing your shirt, and saying like, yo, great set. And granted, like in music, there's a lot of people that say, hey, great set, and it's just kind of like a thing, you just like, okay, you're gonna just say it to say it. But like when you have like people that are actually wearing your shirt, you're like, this guy actually cares. And that's surreal. Like for me, I feel like a rock star already, just like playing in front of like one person that like is down with it. I don't care if we play in front of 1 or 5,000 people.
Well, I don't know. To me, like I'm very like to myself kind of person. I'm very shy. So like being in a band, it's a way for me to break out and be social. It gets me out of the house. It's broken me out of my shell. Just being on stage and like you were saying, just seeing people wear your shirts and like supporting you and seeing them like show after show. It's just you can't buy that. That's a great feeling.
I remember when I was like 13 years old. Like I went to a Misfits concert, and that was like my first concert ever. I really didn't know much about music beforehand. Like someone had like introduced me or kind of got me to go. It was at E9 downtown. It's what showed me what other music other than what's being fed to us, like pop music and stuff like that. I was kind of a weird kid, and I listened to like Jewel and Ricky Martin, like this fucker over here.
Both of us.
I like
Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin's great.
Yeah, I didn't know any better. I just listened to what was on the radio, what was on MTV and stuff. And I remember like being at that concert and just that feeling of just like, holy shit, my mind is being fucking blown right now. And it was, I know it's not a big deal, it's the Misfits or whatever, but like to me at that moment, it was like something crazy. And I remember like that day, I was like, I want to do this. Like I want to give somebody this feeling. And then when I played my first show, I think it was about 2 years later, it was fucking horrible. I mean, like we were trash, but I mean, we were kids. We didn't know, I barely had picked up the bass a couple months before. Yeah, we sounded horrible, but just that feeling that I had on stage, like that rush of adrenaline, like being on the other side of the wall now and like looking at people, you know, granted they weren't like happy looks because like it was fucking bad, but like as things like started to get better and I started growing older and getting better at what I was doing, like just seeing people getting super into it and that same feeling like that I had when I was at that Misfits concert, like that's what keeps me going. Like I don't think I could ever stop doing it. Like I mean shit, I'll probably be like 45 years old and playing in a cover band just to play music.
I'm probably the same as Ryan. I kind of keep to myself and stuff. I'm a pretty quiet guy. So when I go on stage, it's like a different switch. It brings out like maybe everything I'm holding up inside. I just let it out through music and on the stage and stuff like that.
It's brought a lot of peace, and I exert so much energy, and I sweat like a rapist when I play. So it's just a good feeling to like just be tired after you get off that stage.
So aside from like more merchandise like shirts, buttons, different things that, you know, hopefully kids and people will wear, we're currently recording. Actually, we're recording with Marky's tracking us. We're hoping to release 2 new songs for sure before the end of the year, and then we're in the process of writing 6 new songs for a concept EP that we hope to release next year, that make it more relatable, because I think a very like cliche thing that happens with metal is like you just want to talk about like gouging someone's eyes out, or I'd rather have shirts with that, but I want to have lyrics that people could be like, damn, like this is heavy, but it's actually coming from a real place because we're real people. So that's why I think like the new songs that we're writing, you know, are really that's what we're trying to do with that concept EP. Aside from that, we're hoping to get a van and hit the road soon, hit the road more frequently, but that's the current plans aside from just releasing music that I can think of.
I want to go towards the East Coast. Like I know I have a little bit more experience than these guys. I'm a little older, but like I've played a lot of like the Southwest and stuff like that. Vegas is always fun to play. You usually don't make a lot of money there, but it's always a good time. You know, that's like that fun stop along the way. We have a lot of, like you were saying, we have a lot of friends in Cali over there that like in the Tahoe, Reno area, and then down in LA. And but honestly, I've never ventured east, and it's kind of hard. Like especially if you go into the winter, like you're risking a lot. Yeah. But playing something like in Florida, or even going all the way up to like New York, Detroit, Chicago, like I've never gotten anywhere close up there, and I'm kind of like curious to like what people have like over there. Like I know like you hear a lot of stuff about California and Colorado and stuff like that, but I'm a little bit curious what like the eastern, if they even will like dig us or anything like that. I know they have like their own kind of like scene and stuff going on over there.
Like I want to play in Canada because like there's like a lot of good progressive metal bands amongst musicians and famous artists that come from Canada. I'll start with the popular ones like Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, Structures, Counterparts, The After Image.
You forgot Drake.
Rush? Drake, that's who I meant. Drake, Rush. So anyways, Canada like just seems like one of those like really cool like friendly places to play shows. Michigan, I for a long time wanted to move to Michigan because I was obsessed in high school with Michigan Wolverines. I don't know why. My dad took me once, and I just thought it was like super cool, and like I had never seen that much snow ever. Also Mexico, like anywhere in Mexico, like honestly, like I think Mexico like would probably loves metal more than anyone from what I've seen. So I think like a nice little like Guatemala show would be like really wild.
I want to go to New York. I want to go back and like actually get to like visit and explore. I was kind of young when we moved, but like I wouldn't mind going back and seeing like my hometown, like the outskirts. They have like, it's not just all city, there's forests and like all this crazy shit up there.
Like in 5 years, I hope to be self-employed. I hope to like the band in general to be touring consistently. Like I think in 5 years, we'll definitely have like, a few tours under our belt with, hopefully on a record label. Yeah, that's also something we were talking about. I'm thinking in 3 years.
I don't want to be doing what I'm doing now. Like I've been bartending for like 11 years, and I'm kind of getting too old for that stuff. I don't even drink. Just get people drunk. I kind of just want to be mostly on the road all the time. I want to get to a point, hopefully, where I'm just, either I'm doing live sound gigs or recording bands or making music some way, just like where I'm able to use like my passion as like my way of living. If that doesn't happen, then I'll probably be serving you a drink or something at that point in 5 years.
I'm probably on the same boat as everybody. We've been doing music for a while. I work construction right now, so it would be a hell of a lot better just going to play music.
Just want to be healthy, maybe a little wealthy. And, hopefully by that time I get to see my kid. Like, fucking, it's going through a long process of that shit. So, I mean, within those 5 years, hopefully I get to see him.
I guess like me myself, like I want to go to school for like music and stuff, and like just expand my knowledge on everything. Eventually, be a music teacher, something like that. So, and I'm hoping with that, I'll be able to have like good time off for touring and stuff.
Like, I think we're, in my personal opinion, some of the most down-to-earth people. I think we're all relatively approachable. I can't say a mean thing about any of these dudes. Like, we don't have any hate or animosity towards any other musicians. The amount of support we've gotten has been surreal. So I guess what I would want to say is that, like, just say hi to us and we won't bite you, or we'll just probably give you a sweaty, awkward hug, if anything.
Thanks to everyone for the support that we've been getting, like, so far from, like, everyone, like, people that, like, watch us, to, like, family. Like, my family's so supportive of, like, everything. They buy, like, shirts and everything and tickets and go see the shows. So just overall the support.
I love your mom.
I do. I love my pop.
My Bob.
All my family and like my kids and everyone for being supportive. I went through like some weird stuff where I was like drinking a lot and like being a musician at the same time. I wasn't really doing too much, like it's like doing good with my life. So I think now that things have turned around and I'm with these guys and stuff like that, I had time to look back and like see how they were supportive towards us. And I just want to say like thank you to everyone that was there helping me out.
Yeah, man. Thank you to everybody who's came out, supported us, my family, friends, new friends. I want to thank these guys for making it fun, and it's just a beginning for us. I want to keep going and shit.
Yeah, I couldn't be here without my mom. She's really supportive. She gave birth to me. Like I said, stay healthy because you're not here for a long time. Like, shit could go wrong in like an instant, or something could happen. So live life to the fullest.
To everyone, like girlfriend, super supportive. I'd like to thank my mom. She's been super supportive. Other friends, musicians that come out to our shows, even though it's not their show, they're not playing. That means a lot because like it's hard sometimes to juggle, to go ahead and juggle work and being able to play shows. So when you see other musicians making time to come out to our shows, it means a lot because it's not always easy. It's not everyone is able to do that. So I'd like to thank anyone that's ever made it to a show, anyone that's ever said anything bad about us, because that's promotion as well. So we love the haters, the random ones, I guess. But in all honesty, like I think every promoter, every venue, every local business that's helped us with like shirts, merch, Screen Kings, One Stop Print Shop. I'm gonna drop a couple plugs there. Tricky Falls, Lowbrow, Neon Rose, Rock House, Love Buzz, Pandemic Productions, those dudes, The Malicious Plague, Devoured, Heretic AD, Atal, Cloud 49, No Suffer, Saber Wolf, they're still boys. Satanic Barbecue. Oh, you know what? Like I'll just New How I Artifact, Scylla, Crafting the Conspiracy. I mean, there's a handful of bands that like we've grown to love them because they play with the same passion that we do, and it's just surreal, to find equal-minded musicians that we're just able to vibe with. But that's pretty much it. So anyone that took the time to watch, probably like, I don't know how much time this interview was, but if you made it to the end, you get a free sticker.